Yeah, just over that particular joint over there, Peter. All right. Come and join us if you like. All right. Morning all. Hi, how you going? G'day, Jemima, how are you? G'day. Hi, how's things? All right. Give me a wave. Do you need sound? You're good on the left. One thumbs up there. All right, we're good? Okay, terrific. Look, fantastic to be here at Roma Street Station here today with Peter Allen from the Rail, Tram and Bus Union, and also Mick McKittrick from the AFULE, two of our key unions in the rail sector. What we're seeing under the Palaszczuk Labor government is a huge amount of investment, billions and billions in terms of a rail revolution happening in Queensland. Of course, down below, not far from where we are right now, will be the underground Cross River Rail platform as part of the Roma Street site. It's a huge cavern with a 220 metre platform, Cross River Rail project, $5.4 billion investment in a whole new underground line for Brisbane. But we're not only just doing that, we're doing also other huge rail investments. We're seeing early works advance there under the Sunshine Rail duplication. We've got a $2.6 billion joint commitment to a double track duplication between Currabee to Beenleigh to get the express trains into Brisbane a lot quicker. We're seeing a lot of stations upgrade with more than $500 million worth of investment into making our train stations more accessible. So we're seeing that not just in itself, but also as part of the Cross River Rail project, all the stations from Dutton Park down to Salisbury are getting full accessibility upgrades, as well as the Ekka station, which becomes full-time. So we're seeing a lot of work in terms of rail in Queensland under this government, including some level crossing removals, where we'll have 5 of those removed as part of Currabee to Beenleigh. We've got early works underway on the Beams Road level crossing as well. That's fully funded across 3 levels of government. So there's a lot happening on the rail sector. But what we also need to do is get the message across about safety in terms of rail. There's no point risking yourself near rail. We're seeing an increase in near misses of both passengers and vehicles, and so that's a worry to us. So just don't risk it near rail. That's the simple message. Trains, huge masses, they take a lot longer to stop than, say, a vehicle or a truck, and so it's up to you to stay out of the way of the train. So whether it's station safety, not jumping across tracks, those sorts of really risky behaviours, or being really careful around level crossings, we want to say to the community, just don't risk it around rail. That's the simple answer. As we go into Rail Safety Week, there's a lot of safety messaging that will happen over the next 7 days to drive that message home, including staying out of rail corridors. You know, the amount of voltage going through these lines above us is absolutely huge, and it can leap when people are in the corridor illegally, and we've seen that happen. And it's very bad news for people in terms of being electrocuted. So just don't risk it around rail. That's our message, and I'll hand over to Peter Allen from the Rail, Tram and Bus Union. Peter.
Hi, my name's Peter Allen. I'm the Secretary of the Rail, Tram and Bus Union. We welcome the increase in investment in the rail industry, and we also welcome the removal, or the commencement of removal of level crossings across our network. Rail Safety Week gives us pause for thought, and it reminds us how important rail safety is. We have a safe and reliable network so long as people follow some simple rules. And this year we're reminded that if people stand back, look up and remain rail safe, that they'll enjoy a safe and secure journey to and from. But what it'll also do is provide some peace of mind for our members. Our members witness near misses and unfortunately fatalities. Our members unfortunately witness near misses and fatalities. Far too often they report near misses at level crossings, and everybody that's involved, from driver to guard to network controller to station staff to maintainer and track worker, all bear witness to this, and they carry trauma with them after every incident. These are the incidents that follow people, not just the person who's victim of the accident, but also the people who witness it. They carry that every day of their lives, and Rail Safety Week gives us pause for thought. It also gives us an opportunity to launch a campaign, which we're doing next week, and that is that we're calling on all levels of government to commence a level crossing removal program, or to finish the job, more to the point. We're very pleased with the level crossing removals that are on the slate, and we're particularly happy that that all three levels of government, particularly the state and the new Albanese government, have weighed in to get to work on the removal of these level crossings. But we want to see them all go, and my remarks here today are about City Train. We want to see all City Train level crossings removed, and we want to see upgrades outside of that. We think that if 1 in 4 people who unfortunately lose their lives in a rail tragedy, if that occurs at a level crossing, then the best way to do it is to remove it.
Is there a level of frustration, I guess, with all levels of government, considering that the Victorian government has completed 65 removals of level crossings? Palaszczuk government did promise Beams Road particularly to be removed. It's not yet. Is there a level of frustration there? I know that COVID weighed into it as well.
Well, I think you've got to also put into that for the vast number of those, because there was more than Beams Road, of course, the federal government was just simply vacant from that up until recently. They refused to weigh in on really important level crossing removals. Cav Road's a good one. Beams Road's another. It's huge. It's the epicentre of traffic problems in the morning, and also the cause of many near misses. Well, not the cause of it, but certainly the centre of near misses. So their failure up until recently to weigh into this is a huge shame and a source of frustration, as you say. But we say that there should be, if there's 2,800 level crossings in Queensland, and there are, and 1,400 of those go across public roads, it's time to start upgrading and removing them, particularly in and around the southeast. So we're calling on government to do that, to commence that by way of putting a program, much like other states, and as we know, the Victorian government have got on with, and we certainly welcome, we will welcome the support, particularly the state government and the federal government, as we move forward on that. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. You good?
Just on Beams Road, and look, with all due respect, COVID probably did help things, but it was a Palaszczuk promise back during the election year. It was meant to be started in 2021. What's the progress there, and why has it been delayed?
Yeah, look, it is fully funded, and Beams Road is definitely happening because Barton Mellish has been a great advocate for that, and it is happening. We had a few hold-ups last year in terms of some of the council processes, which were regrettable, but we're through them now. Early works are underway there. Good to see such frequent train services coming through, especially on a Saturday. Yeah, but look, what we're seeing there is early works are underway. The park and ride construction is underway. The work that we've needed to get council to do has been done. So this is a fully funded rail level crossing removal of Beams Road. It is fully funded, and it's definitely happening. So that's a plus. And of course, we'll see 5 of them removed as part of Currabee to Beenleigh. And we've got, the new Albanese Labor government has come to the table to put in a third for Coopers Plains level crossing, which we've also got a state government commitment to there too. Sadly, the council won't come to the party with their third there, so we've got a bit of work to do there, being let down by the City Council. But they used to put 50% into level crossings, now they won't even put a third in. So, one of the difficulties here with level crossings is you've got local government road networks, state government assets. You've got to have governments working together across levels, and sometimes that doesn't always happen, unfortunately.
I think the first petition for having this road was 30 odd years ago to have it removed. I know it's not as easy as just removing, but what is the hold up with having this road? Why can't they come up with an alternative? I mean, it's got to be one of the biggest, busiest thoroughfares to the eastern suburbs, and it tends to hold a lot of traffic.
Yeah, well, look, you've got to get all three levels of government making commitments. We've seen some money put on others, and look, Coorparoo has had a lot less money put on it. So that is certainly another one that needs looking at. Absolutely agree. Yeah, look, I understand there's been a tragedy overnight in terms of a hit and run, and my heart goes out to the family of the victim involved and their friends. Obviously, a terrible thing to happen. I understand the police obviously will be investigating and trying to identify and arrest whoever it is that's responsible. It's a terrible thing for the Mount Isa community. Look, I'd have to look into that more fulsomely, but I know from in terms of people being injured in any such tragedy, we do everything that we can to support them. This happened at a very, very remote location, and it's my understanding something like 70 kilometres from a sealed road. It's very remote, so there are some challenges there, but again, it's just a terrible tragedy. It's not very often we see something like this in Australia. We have very tough gun laws here, and we're proud of that, and we should continue that, unlike the United States, where sadly these things are often, very, very common. Yeah, look, the specifics of it, that is a matter for emergency services and police who would be responding very quickly. I have absolute faith in our emergency and our police officers across the state. They are very effective, very committed. This is a very unusual situation and a terrible tragedy. I know they'll have done their best in terms of helping the people who are the person that was injured. I know they've arrested somebody in terms of the crime that's been committed, and they'll be doing everything they can in this situation.
Minister, I know there's probably limited things you can say because it is before the court, but here in Queensland, do you feel that the Queensland government is doing enough to stop guns getting into the hands of people that should have them?
Well, look, we've been very strong in Queensland supporting tough gun laws. And I think, when you look at Australia compared to many countries around the world, we have some of the toughest gun laws in the world, and we should continue to do that because, when people are in unstable situations and they've got easy access to guns, we know the tragedies that then occur. So, look, I don't know if there's implications in terms of our broader gun laws here in terms of this specific case. It is a very remote location, so I suspect there's a possibility, being a rural location and a farm, that there may have been firearms that are more accessible than, say, in suburban somewhere in Brisbane or Townsville. So I don't know the specifics of this case, not being the police minister, but we should always be looking at our gun laws to keep them strong and keep them tight and make sure that people don't have easy access.
From the Palaszczuk government, you've actually the first minister that's spoken since. What would be your message to this family? Obviously, the Premier and all the ministers are thinking of this family at this time.
Oh, absolutely. I think the families will be going through, an incredible tragedy, and incredible grief. So our heart goes out to them. We're very sorry, to have seen this situation evolve, and it would be a really, really profoundly hard time for them.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think it's just marvellous. This has been a hard-fought fight. It shouldn't have been. The Billa community love them. They want them as part of the family. They need them as part of their family, and it's just ridiculous that the previous coalition government made it such a hard situation. They are already part of the community. This formalises that, and I congratulate the new federal government for acting so quickly to ensure justice is delivered.
Minister, I've just got a couple of COVID. I think the numbers are 4,118 deaths, I believe.
Yeah.
The first day of the ECA, this will be a big test. We have heard a lot of, the health experts coming out and warning about a potential spread of the ECA. What would be the government's message again? It'd be about masks and again, getting your shots, I imagine.
Yeah, look, it's just fantastic the ECA's on. We love the ECA. It's terrific that it's happening. But just to be mindful when you go to the ECA, if you're outdoors, you should be pretty okay. But if you can't socially distance, keep the mask with you. And if you're going indoors there, I just recommend to put the mask on to minimise that transmission risk. We all know from years gone by, pre-COVID, the flu season around ECA was always a thing, and it was a very real thing because there was transmission. So we just need to minimise the transmission at the ECA while having a good time.
Do you back Minister Darth and John Burrell not to mandate masks at the ECA, not to mandate masks again in Queensland during this spread?
Look, for 2.5 years, we've been very, very clear in Queensland that we would listen to and act on the health advice, and that's what we continue to do.
And how good is it finally to have the ECA back?
It's just fantastic. Everyone loves the ECA. Let's hope the skies clear up a little bit. But everyone loves it. It's a fantastic cultural event, not just for Brisbane, but for the whole of Queensland. It brings the whole of the state together. I hope people have a great time, but take a mask because you might need it occasionally.
Is there a feeling of COVID closure for you? Do you feel, Minister, that now the ECA's back, it's sort of the nail in the COVID coffin? This was the last event that was closed down due to COVID. Now it's back.
Look, we're not quite through yet, but we're seeing a lot more normal activities return, which I think people are really happy about. But we're not quite through yet. We're still seeing people die from COVID, and that's a serious situation. And that's one that Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Yeah, so you feel that this is the sector closed there in sort of in COVID restrictions, I should say?
Yeah, look, I think this is another step forward to normalcy returning, but we're not quite there yet with COVID. We've seen 18 deaths overnight, and that's a very serious situation still. So, and people who still get quite sick, obviously, when they're positive. So, what I say to people is we're nearly there, but just keep listening to the health advice because they're the experts. We've been a world-leading jurisdiction in terms of minimising deaths and transmission, and let's just keep on it for this little bit longer.
Are you dad with dog or strawberry ice cream?
Definitely a strawberry ice cream. I can justify it by eating fruit. That's my rationalisation. I'll leave other people to have theirs. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Thank you. Ta.